Hey YouTube, it's Zoe, or Read by Zoe, and today I'm going to do an updated bookshelf tour. I am so excited for this video because my last bookshelf tour was almost exactly a year ago when I first started BookTube, and my shelves have definitely changed dramatically. I now have these two shelves, which I had before, and then I added two more small shelves over my bed, right over there. Today, I'm going to show you every single individual book along with the cover, and I'm going to say the name so you can really know what books I have on my shelves. So let's get to it! So here is a short overview of my shelves. I don't really have them organized in any fancy way, but up here I do have my series and I have them organized by height and what I just thought looked good. And then down here I have my novels or standalones or series that I just have the first book of, and then I have those organized by height and then rainbow order within that height. And on this shelf right here I have the novel authors that I own the most of, so like John Green and Morgan Matson and Sarah Dessen on that shelf. So we're going to start on this bookshelf and then work our way down and then onto this shelf and down. So this is the first shelf and it has a few of my completed series: The Assassin's Blade, Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, Heir of Fire, and then I have an arc of A Court of Thorns and Roses which I hide behind Heir of Fire because I already have a completed copy, and all of these are by Sarah J. Maas. The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, The Second Summer of the Sisterhood, Girls in Pants, The Third Summer of the Sisterhood, and Forever in Blue, The Fourth Summer of the Sisterhood, all by Anne Brashares. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, and Hollow City by Ransom Riggs. Shatter Me, Unravel Me, Ignite Me, Destroy Me and Fracture Me, the novellas, all by Tahada Mafi. Vampire Academy, Frostbite, the Frostbite graphic novel, Shadow Kiss, Blood Promise, Spirit Bound, and Last Sacrifice by Rochelle Mead. Now onto the next two shelves of my series: Cinder, Scarlet, Cress, and Fairest by Marissa Meyer. The Selection, The Elite, The One, and The Heir by Kiera Cass. Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm, and Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo. To All the Boys I've Loved Before, and P.S. I Still Love You by Jenny Han. Anna and the French Kiss, Lola and the Boy Next Door, and Isla and the Happily Ever After by Stephanie Perkins. Divergent, Insurgent, Allegiant, and 4 by Veronica Roth. The Hunger Games, Catching Fire, and Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. The Raven Boys, and The Dream Thieves by Maggie Stiefvater. Confessions of a Shopaholic, Shopaholic Takes Manhattan, Shopaholic Ties the Knot, Shopaholic and Sister, and Shopaholic and Baby by Sophie Kinsella. The Summer I Turned Pretty, It's Not Summer Without You, and We'll Always Have Summer by Jenny Han. The Lightning Thief, The Sea of Monsters, The Titan's Curse, The Battle of the Labyrinth, The Last Olympian, The Lost Hero, and The Son of Neptune by Rick Riordan. The Bad Beginning, The Reptile Room, The Wide Window, The Miserable Mill, The Austere Academy, The Airsats Elevator, The Vile Village, The Hostile Hospital, The Carnivorous Carnival, The Slippery Slope, The Grim Grotto, The Penultimate Peril, and The End by Lemony Snicket. So these are the bottom two shelves of my first bookcase and the start of my novels. If I Stay, Where She Went, and Just One Day by Gail Forman. Keeping the Moon, That Summer, Along for the Ride, Just Listen, This Lullaby, The Truth About Forever, Someone Like You, Lock and Key, and What Happened to Goodbye, all by Sarah Dessen. Looking for Alaska, An Abundance of Catherines, Paper Towns, and The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. Amy and Roger's Epic Detour, Second Chance Summer, and Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson. Eleanor and Park, and Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. And also on the shelf I have this little glass bowl filled with lifesavers, both the wintergreen ones, which I really enjoy, and the fruity ones. And I have this painted jar filled with paper cranes that one of my friends made for me like 5 years ago, but I still really enjoy. It's Kind of a Funny Story by Ned Vizzini, Glee: The Beginning by Sophia Lowell, The Help by Catherine Stockett, Bossy Pants by Tina Fey, Matched by Ali Condi, The Maze Runner by James Dashner, My Life Next Door by Huntley Fitzpatrick, 20 Boys Summer by Sarah Auckler, Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor, Can You Keep a Secret by Sophie Kinsella, Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Alire Saenz, The Sky is Everywhere by Jandy Nelson, Across the Universe by Beth Revis, 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher, Marked by PC Cast and Kristen Cast, Warm Bodies by Isaac Marion, Perfect Chemistry by Simone Elkelez, The Spectacular Now by Tim Tharp, The Goddess Test by Amy Carter, Speak by Lori House Anderson, 10 Things We Did and Probably Shouldn't Have by Sarah Milanowski, Everything That Makes You by Mariah Mixday, The Notorious Pagan Jones by Nina Lena Berry, Nowhere But Here by Katie McGarry, My Heart and Other Black Holes by Jasmine Morga, Everything Leads to You by Nina LaCour, Dash and Lily's Book of Dares by Rachel Kahn and David Levithan, The Statistical Probability of Love at First Sight by Jennifer E. Smith, I'll Meet You There by Heather Demetrios. So now on to the top of the second bookcase. Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince, Clockwork Princess, another copy of Clockwork Angel, City of Bones, City of Ashes, City of Glass, City of Fallen Angels, City of Lost Souls, City of Heavenly Fire, and the Shadowhunters Codex by Cassandra Clare, Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, and Breaking Dawn by Stephanie Meyer. On this shelf I obviously don't have any books, but I do have my little vanity area where I keep my makeup brushes, my mirror, and my jewelry rack, which I keep my necklaces and bracelets, rings, and all of that on it. Let's keep going to the books. So now we are at the last two shelves of my big bookcase. The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky, Once Upon a Marigold by Jean Ferris, The Host by Stephanie Meyer, The Click by Lacey Harrison, The City of Ember by Jeanne Duprow, Stolen by Lucy Christopher, Delirium by Lauren Oliver, Ready Player One by Ernest Cline, On the Fence by Casey West, Pretty Little Liars by Sarah Shepard, Angus Thongs and Full Frontal Snogging by Louise Renison, The Time Traveler's Wife by Audrey Niffenegger, Beauty Queens by Libba Bray, My True Love Gave to Me edited by Stephanie Perkins, 13 Little Blue Envelopes by Maureen Johnson, Love Rosie by Cecilia Ahern, The Last Song by Nicholas Sparks, Unearthly by Cynthia Hand, The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak, The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn, Sense and Sensibility and Sea Monsters by Ben H. Winters and Jane Austen, A Little Something Different by Sandy Hall, Forbidden by Tabitha Suzuma, Ruby Red by Kristen Gear, Forgive Me Leonard Peacock by Matthew Quick, Pride and Prejudice and Zombies by Jane Austen and Seth Grahame-Smith, Bloodlines by Rochelle Mead, Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover, Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close by Jonathan Safran Foer, The Duff by Cody Keplinger, We Were Liars by E. Lockhart, Girl Online by Zoe Sugg, Me and Earl and the Dying Girl by Jessie Andrews, The Last Time We Say Goodbye by Cynthia Hand, Ignite by Lily Paradis, Legend by Marie Lu, The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken, Being Audrey Hepburn by Mitchell Kriegman, The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer by Michelle Hodkin, Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard, This Star Won't Go Out by Esther Earle, Yes Please by Amy Poehler, The Coldest Girl in Coaltown by Holly Black, A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, and Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. And I have this nice little jar filled with all of my bookmarks, and I have quite a few, but a lot of them are just random ones that I picked up from like the library, so not that interesting. Now on to the other two bookshelves above my bed. Currently I am standing on my bed, and these are the two shelves above it. I just put these shelves up a couple of weeks ago actually. As you can see, there are a lot of trinkets and just a couple of books. First, I have this little Hedwig figurine that I keep right on top of my Harry Potter books, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, Quidditch Through the Ages, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, which I actually have a time turner in, if you can see that right here. These are all by J.K. Rowling. Right next to the Harry Potter books I have this, and I actually collaged it myself. This used to be a popcorn kernel container, and this summer when I babysit or I get extra money or anything, I put the money in here, and I'm saving up for studying abroad this upcoming year in England. So this is the last shelf of my bookshelf tour, and it holds all of my classics and school books. How to Read Literature Like a Professor by Thomas C. Foster, Under the Covers and Between the Sheets by C. Alan Joyce and Sarah Jansen, Making Shapely Fiction by Jerome Stern, Jane Austen 7 Novels. This is the start of my Jane Austen section, Mansfield Park, Northanger Abbey, Persuasion, Pride and Prejudice again, Emma again, Sense and Sensibility, the graphic novel, and Pride and Prejudice, the graphic novel, all by Jane Austen. Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, Hans Christian Andersen's Best Love Fairy Tales, Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury, The Giver by Lois Lowry, The Princess and the Goblin by George MacDonald, The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett, Tom's Midnight Garden by Philippa Pierce, Peter Pan in Kensington Garden and Peter and Wendy by J.M. Barrie, Harriet the Spy by Louise Fitzhugh, Q, A Little Princess by Frances Hodgson Burnett, Lady Susan, The Watsons, and Sandition by Jane Austen, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll, The Jungle Books by Rudyard Kipling, Little Women by Louisa May Alcott, The Story of Little Babaji by Helen Bannerman, Watership Down by Richard Adams, The Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum, The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton, 1984 by George Orwell, Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad, The Borrowers by Mary Norton, The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens, Hamlet by Shakespeare, Animal Farm by George Orwell, Brave New World by Aldous Huxley, Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse, A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, Antigone by Sophocles, and A Girl of the Limberlost by Jean Stratton Porter. So that is the end of my bookshelf tour. I hope you all enjoyed. If you want to see me reorganizing my bookshelves and making them look the way that they did today, I will put my reorganization video down in the down bar. I did it a couple of weeks ago, so it's pretty up to date. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to follow me on Goodreads, Instagram, and Twitter. All of my links are down below, and I will talk to you later. Bye!